Yes, we are back at it. Welcome to Real Life Boxing. This week's guest, it's the former Commonwealth super middleweight champion David Brophy. Bros, welcome to Real Life, mate.
Thank you, mate. How are you?
I'm not bad, mate. How's your family doing?
Good, aye, brilliant. Just recently, a month ago, had a wee girl called Ella, so it's keeping me busy, but it's changed her full life. But
mate, let's just kick it off, mate. You're 2 years retired now. Are you missing it?
That's every day. Every night I go to my bed and think about it, but there's more to life now, isn't there? It's still it's always got to be in you. It's always something else. It's the only thing you ever knew. I mean, it's the only thing you ever thought about. It was a very, very selfish thing as well, but I think my missus, she's a bit more relieved than me than that farmer, because it changes you as well. You're not thinking about yourself all the time, you're not training all the time. Can't imagine myself doing it with a family. I know a lot of people do it, but it'd be tough.
Tell me what you most miss about it.
I miss the training aspect. I mean, boxing was made for me, I think, but I've done the fit bit as well, like for the individual aspect. Like, you didn't ever need to tell MD to tell me to go and day training or do my run at night and things like that. Like, that was the thing with Billy. Like, you only needed Billy for like 2.5 hours a day. I liked that. I mean, I liked the aspect, because if you know what to do, nobody else will do it for you. What
I'd like to ask you is, mate, how do you replace that highlight of fight night, the nerves, the buzz, the crowd? How do you replace that now you've retired?
You can't. You never will. Like, and I understand, like, see people like you hear bad stories about Ricky Hatton and things like that. Like, I mean, they've done certain things after their career and trying to maybe chase that high, but you'll never. These are people who have done a lot higher than me. You'll never ever get that again. It's no matter how many goals you score around, you'll never get a feeling like that ever again in your life. But as I say, I mean, my Wayne was born, my Mella was born, and even though that's the best thing that's ever happened to me, you know what I mean? But still, it'll never be the same feeling. And then even when they fight, it's just you, it's won that fight. It's different for any football game you've won in it. Because if you have a bad game in a park and then that, like, subbed or the boys want to help you, it's just you in there. So nobody else to praise or nobody else to criticise rather than yourself if anything goes good or bad.
Once that bell rings, mate, it's just you and him
in
there.
That's what I liked about it. I loved that aspect.
Was it mission accomplished, or did you feel you had more to give? Were you happy with your retired on?
I don't know. I think there could have been a lot more to me, you know what I mean? I think the early retirement, but like, I can't say, man, it's got good things, but I say, win the Commonwealth and you win the supposed to, and like, obviously the field fight, that was a sore man for me. I was a right sore man. Groves, it was just a bit more about me, because I never ever really said no to a fight when I probably should have. Things like that. Winning the Commonwealth was brilliant, but even coming back and that as well, I never really took full advantage of it. Like, speaking to certain people about it or getting your name out there, I wasn't really ever bothered about that. But looking back on that now, it's kind of regret, but it's what it is. I mean, you're never going to get it back, but it's just one of these things. Definitely.
Maybe, as I say, you retired in a 22-2-1. Your only loss was to two guys who went on to be world champions, Jog Rose and Rocky Fielding. So, mate, tremendous career. But what I'd like to do, mate, I'd like to run it back, mate. What brought you to boxing initially?
I actually got sent to boxing for my discipline. I was a bit of a wee bastard when I was young. So me and another guy from my school, we were sent when we were young, maybe, I can't even mind, we were maybe 11, 12 or something, but sent to boxing at the 4 Isles in Airdrie. Right. And it was only a community centre, it wasn't much there, but it done the job it was, and sent there just purely for discipline and try to screw the nut a wee bit, but it worked, and I kind of took to a duck to water and enjoyed the training. Right. I still played football at the time, so at that age you can do some every night of the week and you'd be fine. But and the other guy who was weak just gradually fell away from it. And I get into fights. Like, I had a good amateur career. Most of my amateur career was all junior. But like, so then I went to play football, but I think the only one, I couldn't remember, didn't tell you how many fights I had, but it was a good few fights and numerous Scottish titles, Western districts, and I think only one guy in Scotland ever beat me in amateurs, and he sadly died. Nearly Baxter, his name is. Right. Died in a car crash. But
how did that affect you?
After it beat me, and I think it was main stubbornness, because at the time I was pretty well experienced, and it was his second fight, and it was at the Scottish, and he beat me, and he well beat me, and that hit me hard, and it was like, this a wake up call. You can't think you're any, at that age you think you're going to, if you've not been beat yet, you think you're a man, and we beat him after that, and then I can't remember how long ago after that, but it was like up Whitburn way, and he died in a car crash, and I even know the road, but it's a sore one. I mean, I knew he's training at Knock Neil, he trained him. So but it was sad news.
On your career, mate, when you started boxing, did it come naturally for you, or did you have to work hard?
It did kind of come naturally, but I still say I was never ever a gifted fighter. Like anything I done, even with the football, I was never ever gifted. Like God gave me talent. It was
to get 100%.
I think even through the football, I never played. I wasn't great at football. But openly admit that. But I was a hard worker, and even with the boxing as well. Like I think I worked myself that hard. I mean, in Billy, I went to Billy. I still had a limp to leg breaks and things like that. It wasn't good at all. But like through obviously Billy's training and my hard work, I think I got somewhere. And I'll still say that this day I was never ever God-given talent then, but my hard work's got me somewhere. And even that title, it's just through hard work. There's people out there like seen in football and even in boxing, they're good. You're just in this earth to do what they do. You know what I mean? That's
how you get the Messi's, Ronaldo's, fucking Ali, Sugar Leonard's. Exactly. Go to me. That's how you. But see the mental side of boxing. How much percent-wise would you say is involved in the mental side of it?
It's a lot. As I say, it's a very, very selfish thing. Like still, my wife, how she's still with me after having this box. I'll never know how. But it's a lot to do with your mental aspect and how you think and how you get yourself up for things when you don't want to. And like you're going to that training session, it's pissing the rain, and you're just knackered. But it's, as I say, that was the kind of things I like. But I've seen so many boxers, and even in their stables at the time. You knew they weren't going to go that run. I mean, they knew you weren't going to go and do what you were going to do. But that's what made it even better. Like, nobody need to tell you.
Just talk about motivation and things like that, mate. Did you fall in love with the sport at such an early age, or do you need to grow into it? Right when you went to me, like, no, I love this. This is what I want to do.
I didn't actually I didn't like it, to be honest. But even going to fights, every single fight I had until maybe X amount of years ago, like all through my amateur career and that, like I was like before every fight I was like, what the fuck am I killing this right today? Why am I doing this? You know what I mean? But as I say, you gave some you're half decent at, so you're giving it a go, and then maybe a bit through my old man and all, maybe not forcing me, but like you knew it would have made him happy. You know what I mean? Things like that. So but at the end of the day, of course you want to do it for your own stubbornness, your own ego, but every fight I can tell for as far back as I remember, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Honestly.
That's a fight game, mate. But see the amount of people you meet in it as well, man. It's fucking brilliant, man. And you go to shows as well, you must meet your old mates going, wow, fucking magic.
It's brilliant. I met some good characters through the years, good friends as well. Stable mates, even people you've sparred, most about every day in Britain. You know what I mean? So I've been there everywhere in Britain. It's good, and you meet and you feel this alter ego thing about boxers being a bit rude. I mean, you see in the telly and that, but
just gamesmanship in it, mate.
They're genuine. I mean, it's a different kind of sport. It's different to football and things like that as well. Because two people fighting with one another, even sparring, not getting absolute lumps with one another for 12 rounds or 10 rounds, and then they just give you cuddle, and then they go and buy you something or something. I mean,
for a few beers in it.
It's mad, but it's good.
Brought up in Calder, Crooks, mate. Tell me a bit about your upbringing.
It was good. Crooks is a quiet place. You know what I mean? I've stayed there. I've still stayed there actually, so I'll stay there till probably forever. It's good. It's quiet. I wasn't. I was a bit of a wee bastard in primary school and that, but I loved my football. I loved playing football, but I was still even when I was younger and that, I loved getting out for a few beers and that and all. You know what I mean? It wasn't any angel. But as I say, that's what it was. I'll still stay there, and I even persuaded my missus to move there. But she's no fair there. But
where's she from?
She's Fairdrie,
right?
So
cool.
Cairnhull, but. So she wasn't for moving up there at the start, but she's just not got a choice.
You touched on earlier, but you've just a baby girl. How are you finding it, mate? How's it been?
Brilliant, mate. It's a total game changer, you know what I mean? Like, even when she was just born, like, you've got this weight, and you're like, what the fuck do we do now? What do we do with this weight?
You hanging it,
But,
superb.
See, even Nikki and that, she took it to, like, just takes to as a mother, that's a motherly thing, but even good. Me as well, like, and it came at a good time with me with the coronavirus, all the gyms are shut, and that's what time where I spent there, but I'd never had. It would have been my busiest time of the year.
How did you find that, mate, with the COVID and that? It must have been a testing time when a PT, your gym shut. Fuck, he must have been up your arse.
Mate, see, if I never had the gym to use myself, it would have been tough. But they say, you find yourself in bad habits and that, and all. Sometimes you're going in a session, you're uploading and getting a few beers.
Gets too easy, but doesn't it? Do you know what I mean?
You've nothing to get up for in the morning, but it was good to have the time to spend with the Wayne, but it was just I think people had it a lot worse than me, you know what I mean? Like, obviously I had a gym, I still had a gym to use. Like, I can imagine people out there that it was life or death if they had a gym. I consider myself pretty lucky through the COVID thing with the Wayne and having a gym and things like that.
You spend more time as well, mate, do you know what I mean? Which is nice, do you know what I mean? Because time's precious, isn't it?
It's been my busiest time of the year, and I wouldn't have been in the house, like January and the gyms and your Christmas time, so I'm probably one of the lucky ones. I've been better off through COVID, to be totally honest. People have had it a lot tougher than me. You
touched on them, mate, your wife, Nikki. You get married in 2019, you retired in 2019, and I'm sure your wife was pregnant in 2019.
I think you know more than me.
But how's Nikki? Good unit in that, mate? He's a good nut.
Nikki's brilliant. She's the only person in the world that can put up with me. As I say to you, like, through all my boxing that, like, I was a fucking nightmare. I mean, you're selfish and
moods and all.
Terrible. I'm the worst ever. So how she's still with me, I'll never ever know. But it was too long for her to come and see me fighting that as well. Like, even my mum, she's never ever seen me fight.
Is that right? Aye.
She seen me fight once an amateur. She seen me playing football once, but she wasn't for watching. I think she watched once in the tail end. It was the Commonwealth. I think maybe after the actual fight. And Nicky used to come to the fights, and then you could see it was the head and the hands kind of thing. I mean, it must be tough. I get me nervous going watching my mates fight, or Big Simmons fight or something. I get me nervous watching them fighting, and that was me getting in doing it. I wasn't really bothered at the end. It was good.
Touching on your football career, mate, I need to drop this. I know you kind of like talk about this bit because you're a boxer and that, but you played with Dundee United, that's right, didn't you?
I tried, anyway.
You played with guys like Johnny Russell and that, didn't you?
Aye.
How did you find Johnny?
Best player I've ever played with, ever.
Aye.
There were good players up there. There were a few boys for how I get picked up for the school, but we Scot and that as well played the same team as him. He was in a position with the ball.
He was quality.
Just do things with a ball that you could never ever do. You know what I mean? I could never do.
He's had some clubs as well, isn't it? Portsmouth, Celtic. He's like a few
great
transfers.
Player,
West Brom.
And he used to be kind of small. He's obviously he's probably bigger than me now. You know what I mean? So it's mad how it works out. But Johnny was the kind of player where if he wasn't playing, you weren't that confident in winning. Like going up to the Gussie Park a bit just outside Tannadice, and you're playing like under 17s, and Johnny's not playing. You're like, fuck.
We're getting hammered today.
Like, fucking hell. But he was a great player, and he's doing well for his son. It was good to see.
Were you up in Dundee 11 at the time, or how did that work?
We stayed up in Dundee. We got picked up at the school, so I was quite late on, and I was only under 17s for no long time, and then we got a full-time contract. So I thought it was pretty unfair at the time, to be honest, because our boys there that's been there the 12-year-old and that, but obviously they seen something, but I don't know. But anyway, it happened, and then we moved up after a summer. Moved up there, and we stayed in a big house like in Perth Road. I don't know if it was an old nursing home or something. There were loads of rooms, but it was mad. It was a shite hole. There were holes in the wall and all that. There was a pool table and but it was. I thought it was quite tough getting away from home and that, and up there. And much as you're in a team game, everybody's for themselves. I mean, I hated football.
But never mind the football. How'd you go to Fat Sam's? All right, Gaff.
I was never been in it. No. I was too young at the time, probably too young at the time, and probably try to keep my head down and did a good thing.
Touching back in the boxing, mate, tell me a wee bit about your amateur career.
And amateurs, I could always mind my very first fight. That was the only one my papa ever seen. My papa was, he died after my first fight, so that was good for him to see that first one. So that was pretty good. But amateurs, as I say, most of it was on the junior stuff. Only had a few senior fights, obviously because of football, and then a few injuries, and then I went pro straight after it. So it was good. Like as I say, I surprised myself, to be honest. Like it came to like the first 10 fights, you've no been beat, and like I still say to this day, let's see if I went amateur now, I think I'd get danced about because it's evolved too much.
100%. The game's changed, mate.
It's evolved too much, but like back in the day, you used to get like scorecards and that, or it's computer point. And the old guys are like you scored, they can't fucking see. So, but even the scorecard, so it was a count back. It was called, so it was how many punches you threw. I loved that. I just went on fucking threw as many punches I could. So, but it suited me at the time, and it worked out pretty well with time wise. And as I say, you got more and more, and then you went to X amount. I couldn't tell you exactly. I need to look at my card again, how many fights and how many men I went undefeated before that defeat. But I get 2 British silvers, British bronze. Went to like Albania for the European Championship, stuff like that. So you represent your country. I was a captain of the country as well, doing Liverpool. See, we never get the gold in it. I got a silver, but good experiences, especially bringing on boy to go back and say to your mates.
Who's the best you faced in amateurs?
I fought a boy in Liverpool, and I think his name was Danny Boswell. I think that's his name, because I seen a bit about Matvienko, Alec Matvienko, for Bolton. So he's from there, and he said to me, showed me a picture. It was like actually when he beat me, like a clip for years and years and years ago with the boys. It wasn't that long ago actually. I should try and find that, and I think he ended up in a lot of bother, but he was still fighting. I think this particular guy, Danny Boswell, I think he had a lot of bother. But he was meant to be a right good fighter and a right good name for doing that way. Obviously he must have been a nutter or something. But,
get Big Sim on him, he'd have fucking sorted in 2 minutes.
I just came into my head there, so he was a good fighter.
You had a short amateur career. Do you think like your amateur career was tailor-made for the pro game?
I think I was, to be honest. As I say to you, the way it's evolved now, I think if I went amateur now and had one amateur fight, I'd get made a fully. Just the way it's evolved, it's more professional now, but at the time I was suited for it. Like I was never the most elusive fighter, I was always there. You didn't know where you're looking for me. So I liked that. I was always kind of trying to go forward all the time. If somebody put me in the back foot, I was in trouble. So, but I think that's a lot for the sparring with probably Big Simmons, and I mean, Ricky's taught me a lot through the career and that and all. It's valuable experience you can't buy, you know what I mean? So
still going Ricky at Boxing Scotland as well. He's got some engine, hasn't he?
He would fight to his 80, honestly. See the way he used to talk? I mean, and he was adamant he was going to fight until he literally, somebody told him he can't fight him. The sport, I always said the sport would retire him.
He just loves fighting, doesn't he?
Just loves it, but he's the fittest, he's the best professional I've seen. He taught me a lot about it, like even when I was in my younger years, I was only doing maybe 4 3s or 6 3s or something. I was still doing the same training camp that Ricky was doing. It was only me and Ricky at the time. And at the time, you think staff doing that, like you're doing work you don't need to do. And Billy was just saying, you don't need to do this work. He said, you don't need to go these big runs and train 3 times a day. You're fighting 6 3s probably against a journeyman. Now, when I think about it, it's the most valuable thing I've ever done because it's taught me how to train.
Tell me a bit about Jimmy Robertson.
Jimmy was like my grandfather, you know what I mean? Jimmy's, what a man Jimmy was. I think he never get the acknowledgement that he should have got. I think, you know what I mean? As I say, Rob Bannon was a great man for the sport and round about the area, but Jimmy was as well. I say it's sad, but Jimmy now, like, I went and seen him not long ago and I gave him my belt to keep for a while, but I've actually been pretty scared recently to get back and see him because his
health's not great now.
His health isn't great, and obviously I know his son-in-law and stuff like that, and I'm asking him, and I'm terrified to go and see him because does he recognise me or does he know me? So I need to bite the bullet soon, but it's going to be a tough one. I know his family, as I say, and I meet he's got loads of daughters and granddaughters and grandsons. I meet them and I say, how is he? And some say he's alright, some say isn't he? So, but I do need to bite the bullet and go and see him.
What did you learn from Jimmy? Just not only in boxing, but as a person. He's really close to him, eh?
Well, I was really close to him. I was. I think he sorted him out. As I say, I think I went down. I'm not saying I was going to be a right bad person, but as I say, I had a bit of bad attitude when I was younger. And a bit behavioural problems, but I think Jimmy sorted that out. I mean, let's say he was like a grandfather. There's nothing you couldn't go and tell him. You know what I mean, nothing he would tell you straight. Doesn't matter what age you were.
Yeah, you need that in boxing as well, don't you? A guy you can look up to.
He would tell you straight. You know, I mean, he wouldn't be short of giving you a wee clip in the ear raw. So, as I say, I can mind a few spars, bad attitude, it didn't go your way, and you sparred a dummy, and he's just got a hold of you, and it's just for that you went for just right. Okay,
shit for him.
Exactly. So, you needed that, and
definitely.
Utmost respect for Jimmy, and I could never ever repay him for what he's done, you know what I mean? Never ever.
You turned pro in 2011, mate. What were your goals you turning pro? Was it world champion, British, European? What were the goals you initially started? Mate,
honestly, as I say, I wasn't very good when I turned it and things like that. I was happy, the same as I was amateur. If you can get to 8-0 and just to tell people you're 8-0 and you've had 8 fights or 10 fights, you've had 10 fights and maybe the cut of the feet, I'd been happy. I didn't expect it to end, to be honest. I never expected it to end. If I went 10 fights and a cut of the feet, I'd been happy. And just to say you were a pro boxer, I just kind of, I say, evolved again, and the way you'd done it, you're like, fucking hell, I can maybe do something here.
Do you remember your first pro fight?
I do, it's a guy called James Tucker, one of the hardest seeds I've ever hurt. It was in Wishaw Sports Centre.
That's right.
I think you get £800, you know what I mean? I sell a barrel of tickets there. That's a good thing. But I thought it was like $1,000,000 at the time, you know what I mean? But it was always good because I always sell loads of tickets. That's what I think I've done maybe so well, you know what I mean? It's always a good support and people following you. But so it was Wishaw Sports Centre. It was one of I think with Graham's. It's his show, and I can't remember who else is fighting there, but it was just out of a flash, you know what I mean? I think you're out there like a whirlwind, and then I think I died out a wee bit in the 4th round. But again, it was good. It's good that you're left there at the top of the world. That's your pro boxer.
What did you learn from that fight?
I learned that you know to leave the tracks too quick. No, but it was good. You learn all. That was our first training camp. You think that's all the training you done then? Like 4 3s, which is a long time. You think about it. I mean, I think any pro boxer in this game should be doing 8 or 10 rounds just off the street. You know what I mean, the bus sparring or whatever. Yeah. So you're doing all that, knocking your pan in for 4 3s, and you're still knackered at the end of it. Whether it's adrenaline or whatever else. But now you're thinking back about it, you're like, how did I even get tired?
Touching on your career, mate, you're a very active fighter, mate. Your first year you had 4 fights, your second year you had 2 fights, your third year you had 4 fights, and your 4th year you had 3 fights. How crucial is it, right, for a fighter to be active in this, especially in this day and age in the game?
I wouldn't even say that was active. I wish I had a lot more than that. But whether it's through management or whatever else, or just whatever happened, I would like to be more active than that. activity is vital, especially when you're the embryonic stages and you're young and you're not a lot of fights. The only way you learn is having these feelings and walking into places. First it's Wishaw Sports Centre and then it's somewhere else at those two. You can't just do that, you know what I mean? You need to build yourself up to that, and you need the sparring, you need to have time in the gym. So but spending time in the gym without any fights, no any goals at the end of it, isn't much use either, because you're just rolling your body down to a core.
You touched on the sparring there. Do you believe that a lot of sparring's a good education for a fighter?
I did. I liked sparring. I'd like to have sparred. Big Sim was the same. We'd have sparred by 4-10s every week. You know what I mean? But now looking back at that, it's probably how I've retired early. I mean, how you damage your eye and things like that. But it's what you like to do. I know some fighters that don't like sparring. You've heard the bigger ones like David Hay and things like that don't spar at all. But that might have a bit of logic in it, but they might be God-given fighters. I think people like myself, we had to keep practicing all the time, because if you didn't, a wee cut is no use to us. Like, you need to restart things, so you need to keep on these. But I always kind of knew it was going to be a short career for us, because the way you train and the way you fight, and as I say, I would never make elusive there. Didn't have to go looking for me, and I was always there to be hit. You know what I mean? So
just coming away from obviously you retired through a bad injury, right? But did you feel after when you would have retired that you'd be sparring for years and years? I read somewhere that John Murray thought he would do that. John Murray did a similar eye injury, not yourself, but it was kind of in the same kind of path. But he thought he'd be sparring for years, making wages. Did you think that yourself?
No, like don't get wrong. Like I hope my miss you didn't listen, but even I've said, like, I just love going down sparring with Big Cam Johnson. It's great sparring, hard. It's fucking solid. But I loved it. Get down there, staying. You'd no responsibility at the time enough. No weighing, no things like that. Just get down there. And I done it with Paul Smith for his 2 Abraham fights. You know what I mean? Like down there, I loved it. Down there, no responsibilities, get wages, sparring every day. Fucking brilliant. I love that. I mean, there's nothing else to worry about. But and I still speak to Cam, and I still say, listen, if you ever need any sparring, give me a shout. A wee bit heavier than I used to be, but
I'm a massive Callum Johnson fan, mate. I've always said that Callum Johnson's a sleeping giant. Honestly, mate, he's got it all, mate. I hope he can be a world champion, man. He's got it all. He's signed with Frank Warren now. He's still with Joe Gallagher. Joe Gallagher's a great trainer, by the way. Gets a lot of stick on Twitter and things like that, but you know what? He cares about his fighters and he gives it 100%.
I've been doing it, the camps. I say he was staying down there, and Joe trained me more or less, even the fight before. When I fought in Leeds and had the first round knockout, like, I think it was Joe more or less got me that fight, because I'd done all the sparring with Paul, and I'd done the 2 camps, and that's how he'd done so well against Abraham. So I kind of mirrored him. I've tried to, but he got me that fight, and then he'd done some work with me, and he was good. Like, the thing about Joe, right, and I'm no sticking into any other trainer, but every session for all his boys, he was there. I mean, like, some trainers you need for X amount of time a day. But he was there every day, in the morning swims, runs at night, he was in the gym. He had no life. No, I'm not saying he had no life, I didn't know, it was my business, but for me, his life was boxing, his life was his fighters. He cared that much about his fighters.
I've watched a lot of Joe Gallagher interviews, and he calls it freestyle sparring. He says, just get in there, do a bit of this, do a bit of that, and he believes his fighters, a lot of sparring is beneficial for them. But he's a good guy, Joe Gallagher. Do you know what, man? He was a former Ring Magazine trainer as well, man. He's got the awards for it, do you know what I mean?
I thought he was a good guy. He was good. It was nice. He was a good guy to me, so it was good. He used to, he cares about his fighters. We used to drive in there. I used to drive to myself. I used to go everywhere sparring more or less myself most of the time. I used to go away to like Wales or down to Bolton, so I used to drive in there, spar 12 rounds and drive home. It's mad, but at the time it was just there's no doubt about it. It was great.
You mentioned a few names there, guys you sparred, like Paul Smith, Callum Johnson. Tell me a couple other ones you've been in there. Some really good spars.
Liam and Callum Smith, Nathan Clever. I done his sparring camp for Badu Jack. Martin Murray, as I say, Fielding. We've been out in Norway sparring. I don't know if they're any good names, but all the boys, the Gallagher's, Callum Johnson, Cleverly was quite a good spar. He's
not
a big
bad career as well, didn't he?
He's big. He was a big guy.
Any time in sparring, right, you've had your arse handed to you, right, and you come back next day and you're like, no, let's fucking have it. You didn't like that?
I think these spars is the only way you learn. I still say to people, it's about training that. It's the only way you learn boxing being hit. Because you go back and you analyse that and you say, fucking hell, how did I stop them hitting me with that? But as I say, that's the tough bit of the game. That's how it's searing your face and your memory.
On your career as well, mate, you're always in exciting fights. Do you miss a good tear up?
That's all I kind of knew. I don't. As I say, I'll say it again. I wasn't a strategic boxer. You know what I mean? I was sitting there trying to fucking hit you, thinking hit.
Take your head off.
But I would say I don't think I carried that. I think my knockout would tell itself. But I think I punched harder than my knockout ratio. But it just is what it is. But it's the way it worked out. But I like doing the rounds, you know what I mean? As much as you want in there and you want to earn done, mate, and like even spars that, I like to do more than you're supposed to. It's just, but that's probably the reason why I'm maybe sitting here now talking about when I used to box.
You touched on Big Simo earlier on there, mate, in the conversation. You're really close to the big man. Is he your best mate in boxing?
He's my best mate I've met in boxing. He's fucking mad. He's taught me a lot as well. You know what I mean? He's probably at the time he was most decorated in Scotland. I mean, I've got a great career, great amateur career. I've probably sparred more rounds with him than anybody else. And that's probably how a backward step with me, isn't he? Isn't he really a big king? But we've had some tear-ups, man. We used to not fuck it, man, like proper. I mind the gym one day. I can't mind if somebody was sparring and after us, but we were in sparring and a woman in the gym. I don't know if it was somebody's mum or something. Right. She was nearly green and she's like, I need to leave here, I can't watch this. And then Big Sim stopped, she's like, it's alright, we're mates. So we're not blood everywhere, blood in the mirrors and that, but it was I made some tear-ups, but it's mad. The big guy's a great guy.
Mate,
good family,
he's brilliant, man. See, obviously a very devout family man, but see if you're taking an army to war, right? You've got the big man at the front.
He's good, man.
He's got the salter in the face. He's got a hatchet to take the fucking heat off somebody.
He's brilliant. Listen, we do everything like in the gym. He's funny in that as well. You know what I mean? But seeing it come down to business, you've seen the change in the face. You know what I mean? Like we went into rings together for like getting into fights at each one of those fights. So everything changes then. You know what I mean? The carry on goes out the window. But you know me a better guy than Big Sim. A good family man as well. He's a lovely family man as well.
Brilliant man.
Nicole and his Wayne. So.
Any funny stories about him?
See, I've actually speak to Simmons about this, and I was like, "Can you remember any?" And we can't really. But probably he's probably ruined my memory that much. There has been some funny times, but with him and Billy, probably I'd say about Simmons, he's the smelliest guy in the world.
Fuck, wait to hear this, man. Just, fucking Billy,
just shiting and farting all the time. We can laugh about it. Between him and Billy, it was the stinkiest gym in the world, man. It was fucking Ireland, but
that's the clip.
You mind the one where he was going to a ring walk and he tried to do a U-bank of the ropes and count his arse?
I can mind that. I think I was fighting that night. That guy paid for that, but the guy was fighting paid for that. I can actually mind as well. One of my neighbours, he's an older guy, Archie, and he was that time I was fighting. It was that very fight where I was missing fighting earlier, but Simmons' mum was in front of her, and she was going fucking ballistic, man. I think she's a better fighter than Simmons.
I've met his mum, she's a nice person.
She's nice, right? I wouldn't want to fight her, but Simmons, but she was going fucking ballistic. I think my neighbour asked her just to sit down in that, and I think she turned around and told me to fuck up.
Fuck's sake.
So I heard her, so they're a good family, but...
You seem dead happy to me, but would you say boxing's gave you some of the best times of your life?
Absolutely, it's gave me some of the worst times at all, like the worst downs, you know what I mean? So, but it's an experience I would never ever regret. Never ever regret doing it, and I'm pretty privileged where I went. I done what I done. I mean, no expecting half. I think that's maybe being a bit modest or whatever, but it's just the way I've always thought. And you've changed things a million times, you know what I mean? But I'm glad things worked out. Everyone's worked out well for me now. There's people in a lot worse position than me, so I need to count myself lucky. I'm happy I've done it. I say that you've got injuries and that, but there's nothing I'll live, you know what I mean? But see, that's the other thing as well, that you've always got that edge to doing things again, so but, you've got too much to lose now, you know what I mean?
Throughout your career, mate, you're under the guidance of Billy Nelson. How close are you and Billy?
Me and Billy were close at the time. We spent the best part of 10 years together, didn't we? We were close. He taught me a lot. A good trainer, very good trainer, Billy. As I said to you, I don't know through any bad things to him or me, but like I like to do my own things, like my running, and done it with Ricky long enough, and I went to myself, and then my own strength and conditioning, my own diet. I've done all that myself, so it's nobody needed to do that for me. Nobody needed to tell me what to do. But Billy in the gym, like, he was good. He was very knowledgeable. Like if you seen me at the start and where I finished, like you will see a massive difference. Like,
is he one of the trainers that would go above and beyond for you in the gym?
I think he would go above and beyond for you outside the gym as well. He was a good friend as well. Billy, as well as a good trainer. He would do a lot for you, and if you asked him for a favour, he would do you a favour. And I know a lot of people keep it professional, but he would do a lot of things. He's a good person outside the gym.
Would you say it was a good journey with Billy?
I would say it was a good journey. We don't keep in touch that much now, but I know he's busy now. I think he's in Iceland now, sparring.
Train nearest or
so but that's what it is. People grow apart, people talk. I think me and Billy were the kind of people were next year if he phones me and all that, right, but it's happening ugly.
How'd that work with you when I say like, man, him with the Rangers, man?
can see on Twitter. I'm glad I've not got Twitter anymore, but I'm glad, man, because he's a fucking pest on that Twitter. But
he's never off it,
especially with me. He used to torment me all every time, but so, but you always get the stick. I think I still usually get the odd text again, especially now because things aren't going my way. But I swings and roundabouts, and it'll come again.
You retired with a record of 22-2-1. Your only draw in your record was against the late Lee Noble. God bless him. How tough was Lee?
Lee was tough. He's got a really good fighter. I still think I won that fight that day, but what a fighter he was. Actually, I spoke to him I spoke to him since then, and he wasn't well and that. And we sent him doing some. He asked for the hat, and obviously he must have through his chemo and sent him doing some stuff. Not that it meant much to him, but I think it did in the long run. Know what I mean? But I still spoke to him to. Probably just before he died, just wishing him well. Not speaking to him day to day, but just wishing him well and things like that. But what a tough man he was. He's very underrated as well. Very, very underrated. So I think he was the kind of guy I just love fighting.
God rest his soul.
Yes.
But you're only 2 defeats in your record. You've not become world champions. That was George Groves and Rocky Fielding. How good was Groves?
He was good. He could hit like a horse. I actually went into the fight, like probably a bit my fault. I never ever really kind of said no and took the opportunity, you know what I mean, to fight. But it was massive opportunity and it was good money. And then when we came in the ring, obviously he was massive compared to me, you know what I mean? But when he came in the ring, I thought he was one of the fucking security guards. I was like, you're joking. But
at the weigh-in, mate, he did look. I looked at that clip the other night and he did it at the weigh-in. I'm like, fuck me, man, he looks like a light heavy.
So I think he must have put on 2 stone getting in that ring, because I always put on the best part of a stone a bit. So he was massive compared to me. The fight went where it went. It's just experience. Experience will tell all the tales. I mean, he's got all this experience and you can't go up against that. But we did anyway. But
he had that lethal jab as well, mate. What's that jab?
It's that straight right hand.
I mean, Jim Watts said he thought he had the best jab in the business, and what a weapon it was,
mate. It comes to his 50, you just don't see it. But we went down after we won the Commonwealth. George goes after us down, and Barry McGuigan asked us down to spar. So we went down there and I think we sparred 8 rounds and then 4 rounds. With George Groves and we down paid, and I just wish the fight went the way the spar went. But as I say, it should have, would have, could have.
What was his power like?
It's mad power. But as I say, I know you've got 6 seasons and head guards on, but done really well in the spar. I mean, I'm not saying I would have fucking, if it was a fight, we would have won it, but it done really well, just sitting the way it went. I mean, he bullied me, not me. Just about it. He bullied me. He's just too big and too strong. So, but it was good. It was a good experience. He actually sat down and spoke to him. Spoke to Barry McGuigan, and he good words to say again.
Nice touch.
It was good.
Do you feel you got Groves at the wrong time, because he had the 2 losses to Frotch, right? He came back. I'm sure it was Christopher Abrasi, Dennis Duglin. Then he fought Badu Jack at world level again. He lost. And then it basically was his 4th time at World Honours. Do you feel you got him at the wrong time? Because that was his last chance selling, more or less, wasn't it?
I reckon any time would have been a bad time for me, to be honest. For me, I don't think, with me personally, like against George Groves, I don't think it would have been a good time or a bad time. I think it was just going to be inevitable. You know what I mean? But let's say I'd rather done what I'd done than sitting 10 years from now or 20 years from now and saying, imagine I fought him. I mean, what would have happened? But listen, it's life experiences. That's what happens. Sometimes I think you learn more with defeats than you do with. And I learned a lot from that. And it probably took me on to win the Commonwealth, you know what I mean? Just
touching on that, mate, after the Groves defeated 2 victories over Kelvin Young and Kerry Sonko, I'm sure it was.
That's right,
And then you went for the big one in Melbourne, mate, against Zac Dunn. You captured the Commonwealth title. How did that fight come about?
I'm not actually too sure about that fight against Kelvin Young, and then with 2 back in, then we got offered it, and then Daniel at the time who was managing me, the MTK, and then
Daniel Kinahan,
and he phoned us, and they actually tried to say to me no to do it, and said, listen, we'll get you a fight here, we'll try and get you built up, and we'll get you against a fight against the Luke Blackness or something for the Commonwealth here. And I said no straight away. I didn't know how much money I was getting. Same with the Groves, same with the Inn. I didn't know how much money I was getting, but I said that's fine. And then that's what it was. So I had to try and say myself, maybe that's what's going to happen.
Going into that fight, mate, he was 23-0. You took his off him, right? But you were a 10-1 underdog, mate. I know Hunters are folk that had a few quid on you, mate. Did Billy stick a few quid on you too?
I think he did. A few people back here have told me, and they won a good bit of money. So it's good to hear that. I mean, but he was. I think he was world number 4 at the time. World number 4 in the WBA or something. So. Again, it's just numbers. You know what I mean, if you want to do it, you want to do it. But going away to there, I mean, even Pacquiao couldn't get a result there in Australia. I think I was still down in the cards, so I was battered and fucking him.
Usual shite,
same carry on. But again, it's a life experience. You go to Australia to fight.
Aye.
I said I didn't even know where to start, how much money I was getting. Man, it's just life experience. If you don't want to do them, then what's the point? No.
Aye. Did you get the business class in the way you are?
No. Sit next to Billy all the way, man.
Aye.
So,
did we Billy no roll to soak up the trouser leg like their brother Nelson Crone
no,
fight
I
and
was
get
sitting
you in?
next to Billy, and then Gary Cornish was there, so
Right.
you can imagine the fucking feet space we had. Aye, no, it's see, but, like the guy who was running that over there, Brian Amatuda,
Right.
he was great to us, but like Zac Dunn obviously had his own team. He was a big man, not he had his own team and that, so they're a bit of dicks days, to be honest. I think it's just common currency where you're meant to pick up a fighter every day and take him to training, things like that. They never had done that.
Aye.
I don't think they've done it once, but and his dad actually picks up at the airport, that susses out.
What?
So I mean, mad stuff,
Aye.
but they're a bit of dicks days, so it made it even sweeter.
Aye, the
I mean,
victory, aye. Did they chuck you in a fucking wee tiny gym? I know I heard, wasn't
they
it?
put us in, we actually met, it was a bit, they picked us up at their gym, they took us to Zac Dunn's gym,
Right.
and we're like, no, we're not training here, and that was it. So we went for an own gym, so it was a community gym.
Aye.
There was homeless and that, there was
Right.
just young boys that were training in it, but it was a great gym, man, great
Aye.
gym, it was a fucking brilliant gym. It's not as if it was run down it, that was a great gym, but we went and made that cell in front of our cell,
Right.
and just walked it every day. We'd done our own thing. We get put in a room right next to like 5 or 6 parts of road all night. I mean, it's just things like that, just the tricks they trade. But I knew that
fuck you up.
I knew that was going to happen. You know what I
Aye.
mean? But it made it all the sweeter. They were the thought they were going to run out of tapping.
Aye. Was that the best David Brophy we've seen that night in your career?
I think so. Probably you've seen on the telly and that. Aye. But a couple of good fights against Tobias Rem. That was a belter.
Aye.
I think so. I think it was because I said to Billy before I left for that Australia fight, I said, Billy, I'm not going to to beat. So I'm not going to. I don't even think Billy even thought about it, because I still think this day, like, but Billy went out with his wife and that, and like, which is fair enough, he wanted company, but like everybody else went out with a team, know what I mean? Like,
Fucking right,
like,
aye.
he went out with his wife, and they done what they wanted. They obviously, his wife was there, I mean, sightseeing that, but I had one thing in my mind. I went to the gym and that myself sometimes. Go through anybody's fault, and then I fucking just knew I wasn't going to be. I said to Nicky and that, no, I was like, Nicky, I'm not going to get beat. I can't get beat here. Yeah, my mates and that came out. I think there was maybe 12 or 13 people came out, flew out for the fight. So
Aye.
I wasn't bringing people out there to get ran out of the tappy.
See the game plan going into that fight, were you saying to Billy, listen, I'm going to fucking knock him out, or did you say, look, we can get this in points? Were you training for the knockout?
Billy never ever. No. I don't think I could train for knockout, because you're powered, but Billy, that's how good a trainer is. He gradually just puts wee things into your training camps, and like it might be different, but I don't ask any questions. You're doing something different, you're doing shots, and it just gradually things, and you're maybe doing things what he's seen.
Yep.
Billy always does is analyse everything, you know what I mean? So and then when I was in there, I say, but like, I'm a kind of fighter, the front foot all the time. I need to be in the front foot.
Yep.
I'm always keeping people in the back foot, and like Zac Dunn's never ever been in the back foot. So put him somebody he's never been before, and he fucking crumbled. So as soon as he was stepping back, he couldn't fight. So I seen that in the first round. The very first 10 seconds, I put him in the ropes, back in his own corner. And I was like, he's fucking got to crumble. So, and then I gradually, because he was getting hit me, his elbows were coming up. His elbows were coming up, and I just couldn't miss him, man. I heard them make noises, but I've never heard the man make them before. I couldn't get fuck.
Had to get him out of there, innit?
Yeah, he was a bit of a dickhead anyway, so.
Was he? Aye.
Proper dickhead. But when he shake my hand.
What, after the fight? Aye.
Even before the fight, like, we were going at the weigh-in and things like that. No, the weigh-in, it was like must be a news report thing for the Australian and whatever else. His trainer come up and to me and Billy, he's like, listen, Zac won't shake your hand or anything, that's just the way it is. I don't know why shake his fucking on, go off you. Billy got a good move in there, and all, when they shake it, I was like, no, why shake his fucking on? When they shake hands, like at the weigh-ins or anything like that, like, that's fine, the hassle. I would be a bit more courteous in that, know what I mean?
See, even after the fight was in the listen, look, well done, mate, the better man won.
No, really. But I went back, obviously we got his belt. I wish I kept it a lot longer for a picture of that, but I never really done anything. I've never done much, to be honest. I never even went out that night. I went home. And everybody else who knew it was there. Like, I went home my bed, but when then he gave me his belt back, I'm like, you alright, mate? And it's like,
fucking
alright, fuck off then. So, here's your belt, your dick.
Mate, 6 months after that, you fought Rocky Fielding for unification, Commonwealth and the British.
Yep.
See that fight, mate? Were you 100% getting into that fight?
I thought I was. That was a sore one for me to take. As I say, we done a lot of sparring with Rocky for going to Australia. He's a good fighter, man. I'd say we're mates, kind of mates in boxing terms. He just caught me too early in top of the head. And it was say, like Billy would tell you, like, it was for a shot where we trained against, not get caught. I think I hit my shot overhand right just before it, and I maybe get excited. Too excited, inexperienced, you could call it. And and then just countered a left hook, and it caught me in the top of the knee, and I thought it was alright, but I haven't went. My legs went.
How good was the sparring with him? Was there times you got the better him, he got the better you, or?
It was hard to spar. He was very, very unorthodox. I think he gave me a really hard sparring. He actually cut me across there for the lead up to Australia, just for a shot where it was anything could happen to any time. But he cut me across there, and I still had it in the fight in Australia. But like there was good and bad times. You know what I mean? Good time. I like Rocky, and I'm glad he's went on to do what he wants.
Still keep in touch with him,
Not really. No, like we talk now and again on Instagram about message or something, but I don't really keep in touch with many people for boxing, to be honest. But just the way I'm, I like my mates and my company.
Tell me about the one where I read somewhere that when he came up to spar up Billy's gym, he stayed above a pub. Tell me about the times you chat him up for a beer at 6 in the morning.
Oh, one of my sponsors at the time, Eddie Hardy, so he had a place in Chapel, it was called. So there was a pub boozer at the bottom, and then rooms at the top of the restaurant and that. So he stayed in there. It was good to me. He sponsored me and he stayed there, and then we sparred the next day, and I think. And I got a piss heads down there at 6 o'clock in the morning, wanting to get in and buzzing to get in for a pint or whatever time it was. But I always changed me for that. I think he said it one time on Instagram as well, about and a comment about the times all the piss heads trying to get me up at extra time in the morning.
Tell me one fight that got away for you that you never got in your career and you wanted it but you never got it.
Maybe I always had rumours of, maybe I always had a wee thing about Jamie Cox.
Right.
Jamie Cox is a good fighter, right enough. Jamie Cox is a good fighter, but there was things about that at the time. What else was it? Even the Scottish boy, Tommy Phil was my mate. I say Tommy Phil was my mate, but there was talks of me and him and that as well. But me and Tommy sparred a lot in that as well.
He was at Billy's gym as well, wasn't he?
He was at one point. We done a lot of sparring, so good fighter, Tommy. And but he was a bit troubled at times, but we always the first one to give him a message now, and he wasn't feeling too good.
He came for Lock End, didn't he?
Good fighter, good Terry.
Terry's a great guy.
I can actually mean Tommy Phil, funny, we were away in Liverpool for the British Championships when we were young, and he spewed in the ring. He was disqualified.
Right,
spewed in the ring, so it's quite funny. But Tommy's a good guy, good family man that as well. So I think there was always what we talks about me and him fighting, because it was with Danny Vaughan having the shows in the Emirates, and it's two Scottish guys. I think it made sense. But it'd been a good fight, but obviously it just never happened, retirement and stuff. Just
talk about Danny Vaughan there. How was life under MTK?
MTK were good to me. I got picked up at MTK when I was over sparring Paul Smith in Marbella for the first Abraham fight.
Right.
But they seen me, Daniel and Anto seen me sparring him, so I think it just gradually we got out of my contract with Alec Morrison.
Right.
Not through any bad blood or anything like that, just trying to better myself, and then I think it was maybe the best thing I had. I still do wish I had a few more maybe chances at a crack at a title, but I think they were coming before I actually won one.
Yep.
And then maybe just go away for too quick and then retirement happened. But it is what it is. I mean, they always should have, would have, could have, especially some of the fighters. I'm not saying they're bad fighters, but some of the fighters that are winning the titles,
right.
I think I could beat them.
Aye.
Or I could have.
Give them a shot anyway.
Aye, definitely. But again, it's agonising to watch. I try and watch a lot of boxing because that's quite a wee bit scary watching. I mean, sometimes when you're seeing people.
Do you ever get that actually watching a fight in your division? I'd fucking bury him.
Sometimes, but as I say, if they can see that for the amateur, if they can see that sitting in a living room with a bottle of beer on or curry sitting in front of them, but it's too easy done.
Mate, you were forced to retire through an eye injury. How's the eye now?
Shite. It's a lot better than it was. Like, to be fair, I had about 5 fights, maybe 4 or 5 fights, and I had double vision all the time. Like, even I'm looking straight ahead. But I went to Ross Hall and get a private doctor, and then ended up sending me down to Paisley. What's the one in Paisley?
You've got Ross Hall. Can't even.
It's the public hospital anyway. But anyway, so I sent down there and I got an operation. And I literally couldn't see where it was. It was something to do with the muscle behind my eye through head trauma over the years. And I couldn't see. My 2 eyes are pointing different. I was cockeyed in the list. You know what I mean? But, getting into fights like that, and it was murder. And gradually it worse. I went seeing about my head, and I had I cut a couple of what's it called, like mild brain injuries, you know what I mean, like after fights, and I thought it was my eyes, but obviously it all led up to that, and I got an operation by my eye, and then even now if I look down, if I'm standing up looking down at my feet, I've got double vision. Is that right? Running about this side.
Right.
So then after that, and I went and seen the final doctor, and I said, listen, can this be fixed? He says it's miles 100% better than it was. He says, will this happen again if I keep getting hit? He says, it probably will. And I just left that hospital. I phoned Nick and I says, that's it, Nick.
Aye, time's up.
That's it. So, and whenever she wasn't playing that time, I just phoned her straight away and he says, no, I'm not doing that again. I'm not. How
did you take retirement? Because you know, some fighters, they can get lost when they retire and they get in that slippery road, but you always had the PT, the gym, that in the background.
I think that's what it is. I've got my gym now, and then I've got great clients and like a great bunch. I mean, I've worked hard at the gym, and I think that's what's kept us focused. I mean, it's easy to lead astray, and as I say, I had that to focus on, because you had to focus. That was my only job. I've not got any other income. So I think that's it kept you focused on something.
Just touching back in the eye there, see, when did you start getting bobby in your keel? What fights was it?
I can mind even before I went and sparred Cleverly. So that was before the Fielding fight, but I can mind even before I fought after Groves again. What was his name again?
Kelvin Young.
Kelvin Young. So I can mind it before that, and I thought it was something to be sparring. So you're talking good bit before that, you know what I mean? I had to get on to Australia and that as well, but it wasn't as bad, so it gradually just got worse and worse, and it wasn't too good, and it did get worse, and then obviously you start to notice things, get up in the morning, you can't really see, and I'm like, no, something's bad, and I thought it was worse. I thought it was something to do with the brain. So,
you panic at the time,
I did panic, but then I kept fighting, so that's another selfish thing, and all.
That's a fighter's mentality,
it's just, but it's stupid, man. You think about it now, things have went so much worse. I mean, like, I spoke to Billy about how my is and that, and he knew I went and seen these doctor's appointments, but he just kept sparring, kept fine.
Did the doctors say to you, listen, David, this is the end of the line here?
They did the last time I went, but they're really good. I think the woman I went and seen at Ross Hall, she was doing a private session, and she actually reverted me down to hers, which isn't I should have went to the Airdrie Monklands, but she got me doing this Royal Alexandra.
That's a big one, isn't it?
She seen me and she shouldn't have, so she was going against
the grain.
So but she was nearly in tears, and I mean I was rolling about, and he said to me, and she said, I'll get this guy, his name was, I can't remember his name, but he was a right good guy, Pedro his name is, the surgeon's name. He said, I've done having a kin here. I went and seen him again, he's like, listen, I said, could this happen again? He said, it could. He said, but they always tell you the worst case scenario. But he said, it could happen again, so that was when I just...
See, after you chucked it, was you're like, thank fuck, man, I've had this for fucking nearly 20 years.
Listen, a wee bit you're like, really, I don't need to do a training campaign again, I mean, I can eat a bit fucking light, but at the end of the day, it's always got to win, you know what I mean? It's always got to win you, and I'm lucky enough, I'm in a job where I enjoy doing, and I train people when I'm in about boxing all the time. I still say I would never ever be a boxing trainer. I've seen too much shit happening to trainers and what happens in boxing. I mean, I've seen too much of the bullshit, but I've got a good business in that fight, and I'm very lucky. A lot of people just when they're finished boxing, they don't know how to do, and then they go back on the site, labouring for somebody, and no disrespect to that, but it's something you don't want to do in life.
That's what you hear. I mean, I think it was John Murray when he fought Brandon Reyes, right? And he was basically headline at Madison Square Garden, right? And then it was like the next December he was on the roads fucking curbing and all this fucking shit. You're like, just how can it's unfair, innit?
You put all the eggs in every basket. I kind of done that in the education. I always thought I was going to do something. I was the time you're playing football and you started to box, and I'm going to make it something surely. And I had no education. I've got nothing, know what I mean? So like I'm very, very lucky again. But I think I've worked hard at everything I've done, like, even at the gym. I've worked very, very hard at everything it is. So
just touching the gym there, mate, obviously that exit strategy in place while you were still boxing the gym?
Well, I was always PT and I must be a time for training, so but I never ever thought I'd have my gym, and like it's what I've got to know with my clients and like the people I've got in my gym, my gym community, they're a great bunch, man. I mean, and they're your livelihood, they're your blood, aren't they? So so I didn't expect that at all, but I keep surprising myself, to be honest. I keep surprising myself all the way through my life. I don't really expect much myself, but things keep happening.
Did you always feel you move into the fitness game when you retired?
That was my biggest aspect. Like I don't think there was many people out there that was fitting me. I think that's why I go so far, even with the fit band boxing. As I said to you earlier on, that I never had any God-given talents, but I think I worked hard at everything, man. There was nobody much fitting me.
Do you enjoy it?
I was like, I still keep fitting out. I mean, not as much as training 3 times a day and stuff like that, but I love the fitness, and it's just something I've always been good at. Running and things like that. I could always run, and it's just something I've always been good at. So
dedicated to it, mate. That's it. See, if you're dedicated to your work, it becomes so much easier. Do you know what I mean? That's brilliant, man.
It's good.
I want to touch on your former stalemates, Martin Bacoli. Where does the big man fit in the heavyweight scene?
He's big man, special talent. But I don't know where he's going to go because he's in Congo now and he's not coming home. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's COVID or no. But when he's here and he's training, like I've seen him, you see him sparring every day. Every spars he matters, fucking him. You know what I mean? Like I know he had that bad defeat against Michael Hunter, but Michael Hunter's smashing people up now.
Done it last night, didn't he? In Triller, wasn't it? Aye. But
so
Martin, I thought Martin had a bad injury in that night. Was that the case? Aye.
No, I don't think it is. I think maybe between me and you was I think it's I don't think it was. I think it's a bad fight. I think it's a hard fight and he just
the bogeyman in it, mate.
It could have been, but listen, he might have been injured, but the things you go through your head and when you're in the ring and you've been hit in the fucking face is different.
How high is the big man's ceiling? Can he be a world champion? Does he go to attack with like AJ Fury, Usyk, Dillian White, Dubois?
I think he can. I mean, I seen him sparring the ball and I get the better of the ball easily. So I actually seen him sparring to his role and all, and like he gives his role a horrid time. I went down and sparred. We went down to London. I sparred Big Loney for my last spar against before I fought Fielding. It was a great spar, man. Me and Big Loney, we done a rate of 10 rounds and Big Martin sparred his role before it. It was he gave me it. So he really did give me it. So but again, every fight, most of the fights he's been in, he does it again. But when he step up and that hangs at sparring stuff if he fights,
definitely.
So, but I hope he does because Big Martin, he's just got a wee baby there recently, and he's over there. But he wants to get back here and train and stuff. I mean, but as I say, that's his business. I don't know more of the details.
See if he gives you the call, the big man. He says to you, "Listen, bros, I need you back in the camp. Can you help me? Would you go down and give me a horn?" Aye.
I would, again, if like I was helping him before, but it wasn't. It ended up not being beneficial to me with my own work. You know what I mean? So none of us happened in fights. That a couple of fights fell through, and then it just never really beneficial to me. It's just, I mean, you see, at the end of the day, see now I'm selling my time for money.
That's it. Get your wages in it.
So you sell your time for money, and if you're not getting any money and you're selling your time, it's not much use, is it?
Do you believe that there's a lot of fighters out there at this moment in time, right, that they're just not getting the platform, like Big Martin, right? I know he's with MTK, I'm sure.
Yeah, he just recently went.
But do you believe, right, there's fighters out there, right, who are world class fighters, right, but they're just not getting on that platform?
I think so. I think Josh Taylor, if he wasn't with MTK and he wouldn't be a world champion, I wouldn't be the unified world champion.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe that. I think they've pulled strings to get him there. No disrespect against Barry McGregor and that, but that's the way it is. If he wasn't there, then he wouldn't be. Even like Lee Wood, they just fought there, great fighter, but whether they've got that chance if he wasn't with a big organisation like MTK. Just
touching on Josh Taylor, mate, how far do you think he can go? Do you think he can jump into welterweight and conquer welter as well? Do you think he's got the skills and attributes to do it? Special fighter.
He's good guy and all. I think he's funny that as well. After I see them asking boys for pints and that, was it Vasquez, wasn't it?
Aye, Vasquez.
Fucking. But he's funny, man. But you need that. No, I mean, I think he's got a wee bit cut of screws loose.
Aye, that daftness. I'm sure Carol Frampton said that about me. He says, listen, the one thing about Josh Taylor, he's got that madness in him as well. That makes him a special
I think you need it. No, I mean, you can turn it on and off. I mean, I think that's the call. I think a few of them call him Hank. So I think that's pretty funny. But I think you need that as well. But he's a special fighter. I hope he does go all the way. He thinks he deserves it. You see him do it. I've got him on Instagram and see the big cushion and he's doing well and he's a millionaire.
Great to see as well, especially, honestly, undisputed champion. The last guy to do that for Scotland, Ken Buchanan, man. He's making history now, and obviously I think he might go with the Catterall fight. I'm not that sure, but see if he does go up to welter, who do you think he'll tackle next?
I don't know. I think he's looking for Johnny Davis, isn't he?
Well, they're talking about Crawford's a top ranked fighter, so I think the fight is easy to make with top rank with Josh and Crawford. But
Crawford's a good fighter. No, he's a tough ass, but I think if anything got to do, it's got to be Josh Taylor.
But see, I think with Josh Taylor, right, he's got that confidence, mate. He could beat the devil, mate. Honestly, he's got that eye like, I'll fucking beat him the ball. He always says, I believe in my own ability.
I think if you phoned him in the morning and said he's got to fight Canelo, I think he would do it. You know what I mean? So,
get the flight booked, innit?
That's good, man. I think that's what you need. I think it's for the fighter not to have any regrets and not to say no to any fight. I think that's a good thing. It can be daft and all, but realistically, you know, if you've got talent like Josh Taylor, it's got to get you to places where he is now, millions of pounds, and the place he wants to be, and you need to take chances.
Let's hope we can get these signature fights, the big fights. The Gervonta Davis fight, that could be dubbed as a super fight, do you know what I mean? Because he's maybe there's boy real into join, but I'm telling you, Josh Taylor can beat anybody on his day, mate.
I think so as well. I thought even before he was world champion, he was going to be world champion. I mean, I always thought that. It's just special. But as I say, I think he's got where it is now for the who's backing him as well. MTK are the best in the business, but without a doubt. I know he's with top rank now and all, but managerial stuff, I think they're the best in the business.
Just look at the fighters I've had, mate. Tyson Fury, Billy Joe, Josh Taylor. our 200 fighters on their books, man. It's great to see what they're doing for boxing.
They care about their fighters. I mean, that's the first thing that I noticed, like, somebody actually cared for you, you know what I mean? So it's a big thing in boxing because it's a lonely sport, so it's good to have somebody in your corner like that.
But listen, mate, that's us today. Absolutely fantastic, mate. I appreciate you giving us your time today, and honestly, God bless you,
I
mate.
loved it, mate. Thank you very much.
All the best, boss.
Thank you, mate.
Cheers.